Blah, 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 blah. Can you hear me now?
You hear me, Skylar?
Yeah, you should be able to hear Anthony now too. All right, so
Yeah, I
I
hear myself.
obviously got to move the chat box because it's not coming up the way it should. Let's put it above the layout. There we go. Looks a little weird, champ, but God, I can't believe I said that. All right.
We've invested
I
you,
need to get out
dog.
of this Discord, dog. Oh my God. Hi guys. Astastic here. Thanks for tuning in. We will be having another episode of Net Talks today. This will be a P plus centric stream, vlog. I don't know what to call this. This will be a P plus centric stream. Looking into like top players, some of the characters they play, and just other prominent members of the community. Because you don't have to be a top player to be involved. Um, oh my God, I love you guys. Oh my God. So I just have one or two more things to do, and we're gonna get started. Actually, Anthony, if you just don't mind joining the the dolphin,
Yep. Give me a sec.
not a
All right.
problem.
Uh,
Oh yeah, today
where?
we'll be having Anthony on. He is a top 50 player. He plays a bunch of different characters pretty proficiently as well. He plays Falco, Fox is his mains. Mainly a Falco player. Would I be right in saying that you're mainly a Falco player?
Oh, it is very odd to say. Like every time like you want to sign a main, it's like it changes frequently. For the past couple months, it's been primarily Mewtwo
Okay,
and Fox, like secondarily. But I usually default to Falco when I'm like, for comfort,
okay, that makes
because
sense.
it's very odd. Oh, also, where'd you put the code, bud?
I'm pretty sure I DM'd it to you
Yeah,
personally.
my brain's I'm not a big brain person. All
No,
right,
it's
here
all
we
good.
go. But yeah, so yeah, it depends on like the time of day, like the how I'm feeling usually, and like the player. Like
Honestly, no,
oddly enough, a
continue.
lot of my bigger wins are like usually Mewtwo and Fox, but Falco usually can get the job done.
I'm kind of the same way where it's like I'm more so the type of player like so I dual main, right? But I'm the type of player where some days I just feel like I'm only a Mario main. Like some days it just like my Nest tech skill is just not hitting today, so I have to just play out Fox or not Fox. I have to play out Mario. And other days where it just feels like I'm way too two dimensional when it comes to playing Mario at that particular day. And it's also very much player based. Like for the most part, Mario and Ness they don't really cover each other's weaknesses per se. Like that, they really don't.
They really don't. That's like a terrible comp.
They really don't cover each other's weaknesses. But that is to say, um, I usually go. Sorry. That is to say, usually I end up picking a character based on the player and their playstyle, as opposed to like, oh, I think this one wins the matchup. Like I don't really, it doesn't really work too well for me, to do that kind of stuff. So I try.
It's yeah, it's so funny, Hakeem, because I feel the same. Like I can't choose a character. Like sometimes I'll choose the bad matchup, even if it's like a losing thing, like or even if it's like not the right thing to do. Like sometimes I'll go like Falco against matchups where I really shouldn't be, like against Marvs. I'm like, this is a bad idea, but it's like it's definitely like I know the players aren't comfortable playing against it.
Yeah, and there's another thing to be said where it's like we kind of touched on it in the last stream. Like matchups are important, right? But like at the end of the day, you're playing the player, and once you hit a certain level, like you're not really losing because of the matchup's bad. What you're really losing is because that other player's better than you. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, of course.
that's just how it is after a while. Let's go to Battlefield.
Matchup dynamics are the weirdest thing because there are some like cases where obviously it does matter. Like there's like unwinnable matchups. Like obviously in melee there's like uh Peach fucking or Peach ICs where it's like even if you are the better player you'll just lose.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah. But there are
so
very
I'm
few of those. You know what I mean? There are very few of those. I feel.
yeah. Especially in PM, that's what I'm grateful about in this game too. Is that we have like the opportunity to just like have matchups, have like a game where it's like so balanced. Well, in comparison to melee, of
Oh
course.
yeah. Oh, of course. And
There's still things wrong in this game.
oh yeah, no one's gonna ever take that away from this game. Trust me. Especially the melee players.
Pain. But yeah, and but what I am glad about the game though is that like there's like so many things that are like so balanced that like people will complain about different things in this game. We don't always complain about the same thing in this game.
And what are some of those things?
So like obviously like there are some people that complain about hardcore about like the top tiers, but some people will complain about the mid tier jank. And the big thing I want to like always touch upon is like Lucario is a big one where people like are very mixed on him. I know a lot of people think he's like super egregious. Some people think he's like trash, and that's like a cool point of contention. I always love to talk about like
Um,
characters who just like there's no concise opinion about.
so if you don't mind me, oh, that was really smart. If you don't mind me asking you, well, how'd you come up with your tag? I mean, it's your name.
Uh,
there's
oh
there's
no,
another
I hate this question.
there's another legendary tag you used to go by.
So real quick, I'm probably changing my tag to Sauce Sauce,
Okay.
or going back to a different tag real quick. But so I got kind of like fed up with like so many so I'll start with the first tag. The first tag I ever had was Daddy's Milk, and that was I hate speaking about it. That tag is not like something I don't feel like I'm ashamed about, but like everyone told me I'm like I'm gonna cringe about it one day. I'm like, there's no way cringes about it like a couple years down the line. I'm like, guess people were right.
So
But the
like,
thing is,
I was gonna say you kind of joined the community when you were fairly young. Like when I met you, you were still in high school. You know.
yeah,
So like,
I was like 16, 15.
there's always that excuse, if you will.
Yeah. So the funny thing is though about that whole tag thing is the older I get, the more funny I think Daddy's Milk becomes. It's like there was a definite curve where it started getting funny. I'm like, this is actually not funny. And then I'm like, I thought about it again like last like couple months ago. I'm like, wait, Daddy's Milk, that's kind of funny.
I think I'm more of a fan of Poppy's Leche.
Poppy's Legend was good, but like it's Spanglish. That's the problem.
Like it's still top tier. What do you mean?
It is funny. There's
Um,
like I know there's a point where I'm gonna go back to those tags.
I mean, I still go by Astastic. If like my name didn't have like an actual meaning that's like important to like me and my upbringing, I wouldn't I would be totally ashamed of it. In fact, in some days I definitely do want to change my tag from that. Shout out to that one time Alucard told me I couldn't go by Astastic in my home fucking town local.
Jeez.
It's like,
But
oh
yeah,
yeah,
so-
man, sorry, I'm gonna really make some money off this tournament. Can't have you doing this. Makes me look unprofessional.
Oh my god.
Let
Yeah,
me
I
chill, let me
remember
chill.
No, I definitely remember like there was a lot of people who wouldn't just take me seriously because of the tag, which was I thought was hilarious. And I think it was I think it might have been you that mentioned it, where it's like someone with a ridiculous tag. Who wants to lose to someone with a ridiculous tag like that?
Yo, shouts out to Teals.
Oh, was that Seals that said it? Oh.
Yeah, Teals. Yeah, the sad story. He lost to me. And
Oh no, I remember that.
We're just gonna end it there.
Like losing to someone with a tag named Dash or Astastic, like you feel that more than like usual. Like who's your bracket team? And oh, some dude named Astastic.
Oh my god. Yo, I remember when so I beat Arsenal's at like one of the first times he came out to the East Coast for a regional. Like they even like flew him out and all that. And
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And like so a year or two later I get to play Fuzz. And Fuzz is like, and I was like saying like, oh man, I wish I played you better. I'm like, just talking, like just being normal. And he's like, oh dude, I know you. I'm like, oh, it's probably because of like, the fucking tournaments, the GBS grid tournaments, because those are like one of the most watched tournaments on like the East Coast. So like it would make sense. And he was like, nah. I remember you because you beat Arsenals, and I was sitting here wondering how the hell did you lose to someone named Astastic? And I'm like, get wrecked.
So there is. Okay. So you know what? I thought about it just again. I'm changing my tag back to Diagonal just because of that one fact that people don't want to lose to someone with like a silly name. So there's more pressure.
There's more pressure until they know you're nice with it. Then it's like, all right.
Right? It's like, oh, what? He's like so good he doesn't take himself seriously.
Um. uh,
Yes.
oh my God! Chill out. Yo, shout out to Netplay for carrying me. Oh my God, sir, this is my stream.
No.
You can't do this to me.
Please. Okay, cool. But yeah, so the whole
I
tag
guess
thing
we're
was
not gonna
funny.
turn around and grab, huh, game? I guess we're
So
not
the
doing
whole
that.
I love the
Everything's
whole
broken.
tag situation because it's really funny how like my tags evolved into Daddy's Milk, Bobby's Leche, into we're gonna skip the rest. But there were some pretty sus tags I had too. I remember they weren't as funny, but they existed, and we're just not gonna go into them.
Yeah.
They're more edgy.
I
But
had to touch on Daddy's Milk, even if it was just a little bit.
I'm okay with Daddy's Milk. That was funny. But the tag I eventually as you notice, like I'm using now is just Anthony, and that's just because it's a play. I've always said it was just a placeholder because I couldn't think of a tag at the moment. I'm like, I guess I'll call like I want to get called by like what I like to be called by.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Let me just make sure I like touch all the topics because last time I feel
Yeah,
like time got a bit away from us, and you said you're good for like 2 hours or so. So
I'm
that's
good for whenever you want to go,
oh,
but
thanks, dude. I just try not to like
yeah,
take too much of people's time.
no,
Um,
don't worry, we're vibing.
so um, so how long have you been playing like Falco and Fox, like the species in general? I know Mewtwo's a more
Oh,
recent character for you, but like, what made you want to start playing them, and how long have you been playing them?
so the first character I actually touched upon in PM was weirdly enough Lucas,
Okay, why Lucas
and
though?
uh, I saw Pink Fresh.
Oh, okay.
I watched the Xanadu locals a lot, and I just remember watching Pink Fresh, and I'm like, that's sick. Oh no! I completely lied. There's always a character I always forget about. Mewtwo was my first character I tried to play. Legitimately, Mewtwo was the first character because I thought like, dude, he teleport. I watched Emu, and and I'm like, that's cool. And I just, I couldn't make Mewtwo work because the character is really odd to play, even in 3.02 where he's like really egregious and stuff.
Yeah, he was
So then I saw Lucas, and then I
egregious in
realized I'm
that
like, oh, I'm
game.
gonna try him, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know how to wave dash. So then I went to Luigi and then Ganon, like just some like quick mains, and then eventually, as I was just playing Ganon, and I finally had the wave dashing down. I'm like, I gotta play a character that like Lucas. I want a projectile, and so I was watching Boss play Falco and Fox, and I saw him like laser from across the screen, and I'm like, as Falco, I'm like, what the? I'm like, what is this? Like, he's controlling the stage with a gun. That's cool.
I remember you also mentioned like since you grew up like playing like a lot more FPSs, it kind of felt natural for you to play someone with a gun.
Yeah, no, it definitely did. That's what like also attracted me because I didn't know Falco had a gun. Like,
Aww.
Falco had a gun. Did you know how cool gangster that is, dude? It's so cool. Like, but it was a point where I was playing Falco, and then I was switching between Falco and Falco a bit, and trying to learn how to laser and stuff. And then I tried Marth for a bit, and that didn't work out. And then it was just like a bunch of Falco and melee, Falco and PM, until I landed upon like learning how to actually like grind it out. I would sit in my living room for hours on the giant CRT playing Falco and Fox, just learning for hours, like I don't even know, like 10, 20, like 15 hours a day sometimes, just learning how to play Falco and Fox. And it was just, it was a grind.
And
And jeez, I
I
remember
feel like a
those
lot of
days.
players have a story similar to that. Like I used to when I like first got into like competitive Smash and like that like my first summer playing Smash, if you will. I could wave dash and shuffle, but I wasn't like as proficient as I needed to be at it. So I would just wake up every morning and like there's still like a CRT in my house. Like in fact, my parents were gonna throw it away, and I was like, no, hold on, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop that. And
So,
I used to wake up every morning and practice in melee actually because since it was harder, I felt like I would get more out of my time playing practicing the tech skill in that game as opposed to like just grinding it out in PM.
yeah, which makes 100% sense. Actually, really fun fact, my tech skill was more proficient than it ever was when I started learning the game.
Oh my!
That was where my tech skill was peak. where I like took so much time to like make it precise on. I have like the most precise tech skill ever. It's only gone downhill since then.
Oh my god, dude, big same. I feel like I got old man hands now.
Dude, I feel old and I'm like 22. like, like, oh god, no, but it was kind of funny where I
Oh, I
would
thought you were
learn.
gonna be a maniac. I thought you were gonna be a coward.
It was kind of funny for how long it took me to learn like having to play Falcon Fox and especially double shining and short hop double lasers. I remember
Um,
telling myself I would spend all my time learning tech until I like got it down completely.
okay. Um, so, yeah, switch to the real top tier here. Oh my god, chill out, chill out. I'm joking.
Oh,
No, I'm not. Oh no, he didn't jump!
oh, that beautiful anti-air. So yeah, this character had a lot of meaning to me because it took me so long to learn him in melee. Actually, no, it took me so long, but then learning Falco took me even longer, which was funny.
Yeah, I hear that sometimes where like some spacey players will say like, yeah, actually learning Falco is a little harder. Besides
Because
the
the
fact that
neutral
he's
Falco,
like,
yeah,
yeah, he's a little worse, but like it's just like the jump squat throws people off.
it wasn't a jump squad that threw me off. It was like having to kill. I couldn't kill as Falco, which sounds funny, but like where the meta is like a little more floaty in PM, Fox has an easier time killing,
Yeah, you can just
which is
spam that
funny.
move.
No, yeah, I could just spam up smash.
Ugh, yikes, yikes.
So Fox has like a slightly easier time killing the floaties in PM. So it was like much easier when I was transitioning to PM, and in melee even too. Like it's Fox, like
Yeah.
character's nuts. Like there was no complaints ever for, and it was rough playing against Marth. Being
All right.
edge guarded, low level Marth and Falco can be weird as like a new player because you're like, oh, how do I edge guard Falco? Oh, just down tilt, and it works because no one can sweet spot.
Yeah, because nobody can sweet spot, dude.
at, at that level, no one's thinking about sweet spot. We're thinking of recovering, going high, and Fox can go high.
I feel like I was supposed to be an up smash. Then you just like ran into my energy and just my space and just nared me. It's like, okay. Ugh, yikes.
Tight. This character is nuts, but yeah. So
Full time
that's so it's
idiot.
like
I am working on it. Also, shouts out to Ben for making this
yeah.
killer layout for us.
The layout's tight. So that's essentially the story of like the Fox and Falco. Like nothing too special. And for the majority of the time when I switched was I played a lot more melee back then. I tried to play both, but mostly melee. PM was just because like my friends played it.
Okay.
So I would mostly play melee, and it eventually became PM. And when I played PM, I would mostly play Falco because like I was already playing Fox and melee, the better character. So I'm like, I'll waste my Falco on like PM. And that's essentially why I was playing Falco and PM over Fox.
So what made you want to
Mostly.
take PM more seriously?
Oh, so I get bored of like just playing like playing the
5
same characters.
matchups.
It was like they're more.
Yikes.
So I won't lie, the matchups in melee can be a lot more fun because like you're playing against like the top tiers have a lot more like depth because of like the way the matchups are structured, with like having more combo potential and stuff. Whereas PM like not everything's discovered and some of the things are more like odd when like comboing floaties as Fox. Or like even for Falco, like there's not as many fast fallers to combo. So like you're kind of limit like combo games was important to me when I played, but then I realized I'm like, it was just like I remember just thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't really care. I stopped caring a little bit because like everyone in the melee community, they were alright. Like they weren't bad, but it was at a time where Connecticut melee was a little odd, where they were a little more.
I get what you're trying to say. I get what you're trying to say. I appreciate your restraint.
Yeah, it was a little more tight knit. It wasn't
less than friendly.
as open. Yeah, it wasn't as friendly. Whereas the PM community, everyone in their oh my god, everyone was so nice. There was not one person who was like not inviting. Everyone was so nice to me. Everyone was like made me feel like wanted to play more, and it was just so nice. And then I realized I'm like, sure, a lot of these characters are super like odd, but that's the fun part, like learning all these fun matchups.
That's exactly what attracts PM to me more so than like any other like Smash game, where it's like, Melee's attractive to me. I'm not gonna lie, but
Yeah,
it's more so like I would be very bored if I just had to play those 5 matchups for the rest of my life. And um, dude, I want to play Ness.
and
Like
so yeah, agreed. And it's really odd because with melee, like there's a lot of talk about expression, but the thing is, not everyone can express themselves correctly with melee. Like some characters don't actually fit people's style; they just force it in.
yeah, I totally agree.
Like some people aren't Fox mains; like they just play Fox because like it's the best character they have in melee. That's agreed.
Sure, sure, dog. Just CC my whole life.
But yeah, so like some people just really are just forcing themselves like to fit like a main. Whereas PM, like you have all these characters you can choose from. Like you have so many options, and they have so much depth too.
So like that's kind of how I feel before, and people say like, well, the combo game or the matchups are more fun. I think it's kind of like what you were saying before. It's not that like these are 2-dimensional. It's that like Melee had 20 years worth of meta. Like it's not even fair
Yeah.
to like compare almost. It's like, yeah, everything's fleshed out for you.
Though like there is like the concept like comboing fast followers is a majority reason why a lot of melee players stick because comboing fast followers, it's so much fun.
Yeah, it is. It is. Oh my god.
It's one of the things people love to do, like comboing fast, because you can't combo like a Jiggly, you can't combo a Jigglypuff, a Samus, a Peach like too well with some character. Like some characters can have really strong combo games against them, but like Fox can't really combo the floaties too well. Like those type of floaties, like insanely. He can't do zero deaths. He can combo them, but he can't zero death them. And
Yeah.
so people want like that Marvel like element, like that super hype factor type of. Wait, I want
Didn't
to
they
get
used to
looped
call
up.
Melee Mini Marvel?
Yeah, it's like you could compare it to it, like no, please, no, I want to live. Oh
I was going for something cute.
no.
I hate this game.
No. Okay. No.
Give me just a second. I need to take off this hoodie. I'm
No
sweating
worries.
out here.
But yeah, so I guess that's where it's weird. Where oh, you have your headset. Yeah, but for anyone listening, PM is a little different, obviously, because like there are matchups where there are a lot floaty. There's like combo games are different. Like there's not as many zero deaths, which is like I enjoy that too. Like I don't like what is it? I don't disagree with the concept of it. I like it, and there's more combo game. Like there's more characters for it to be like super combo heavy. Like, but the meta is a lot more floaty than PM or than melee, which is like it's a personal preference type of thing. Though, not the worst thing, of course. All right. So now we're just waiting for Hakeem because Hakeem's taking off his hoodie. I'm getting washed. Let's see. Hakeem has left me. Alright. Man, food would be nice now.
Sorry, I had to feed the boys too. Thank you, oh my god. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can move that alert box a little bit. Do something with it,
But yeah, so meta for PM, like I was telling people talking about before, it's a little different for PM, which not bad, like, but like the way Melee's meta, like it's already established meta. It's an enjoyable meta. For a lot of people enjoy the meta, which not everyone enjoys the meta. Like us PM players, we don't want to play that meta all the time.
Exactly, and they're just like the characters that I would prefer to play and the playstyle I would prefer to play is just not. Like I like playing Doc, dude. Like
Yeah, right.
Huh?
Like
Yeah, I'm a Doc main. Like I want to play Falco mainly because it's like I mean, what am I gonna do? Play Doc? Like, what are you
Well,
gonna do?
I do know like the meta like that is an enjoyable meta for a lot
Um,
of people.
so let's get a little bit into like mechanics. What are some of your most important moves? I mean, you're using one of them right now. Actually, you're using it a lot right now.
Down air. Okay. Minigame. No!
Get fucked.
That is where what is it? So there I think I talk about it a bit like and I hope it never comes out complaining when we're playing, but I am uh very like odd when I play net play because we're a lot of my inputs are just not the same.
Nah, dude, it's not
Yeah.
like people are gonna watch this and like see it as like your like
No, of course.
this is your skill
That's not the
level.
intent,
Like,
but like whereas like you'll see like I didn't want to touch about like where if we're talking about mechanics, Fox and on net play is odd.
I didn't
He is
die.
very strong in some aspects, but like the aspects I want to be good at, like it's weird. But so important buttons for Fox, obviously
Yeah, you can take a moment to like just show them off right now.
the the kicks. We got the nair. Nair it obviously leads into everything you possibly want. Like it's a neutral tool. It's like a defensive tool. It's an out of shield tool. It does everything.
So for
Down
like some
air.
of the newer players, like just
Yeah.
real quick, like this is assuming that you understand what shuffling is: short hop, fast
Oh
fall,
yeah.
L cancel. So he's like spamming his aerials, and that's pretty much how you do that. He send out an aerial, short hop, send out an aerial, fast fall, L cancel. So
Yeah. So
Nair's one of like Fox's most versatile like moves like in the game. Like I've seen it used as a poke. I've seen it used as to like overextend. I see it used to like keep people
everything.
out. Like it's
So yeah, if you're a PM player and you're like getting new and you're seeing a Fox like just spam stuff and he does this, like you got it kind of like some points you kind of have to respect his stuff because like these two moves are pretty crazy, but you gotta watch out for Fox messing up his pressure because Fox pressure, while as fast as it is and crazy
I was
as
trying to
it can,
show
like
off
don't
like
mess it up.
I was trying to show off like how stupid it is to like kind of approach that move sometimes, but like see
Yeah,
like it's so fast and
it is very fast.
walls.
Thankfully though, like the hitbox isn't insanely big. It's just it matches like his foot like matches like his the size of like the hitbox matches his foot. Like that what you see is what you get actually.
Yeah,
Except
actually,
this.
how do we turn on hitboxes? Yeah, thank you.
LR down and you'll see. So you'll see there it makes sense. Like the move makes sense. Like that like kind of makes sense. Though down air in PM is a different story.
Oh my god. Gotta love this
Much
game.
different story. Whereas back air, also a different story. Up air, kind of makes sense
Yeah, that makes sense
in this
actually.
game. And melee actually doesn't make a sense. So like, what you have to watch out for is when Fox down airs because it's much more deceptive looking.
Yeah.
And back air.
Oh no, leave them on. Like I actually think it might
Ooh.
help with some of the discussion actually.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. One second.
So another like important move that at least like playing against the character you notice is his shines. It's like
Yeah.
it's real hard to deal with. I mean I kind of have a pseudo shine myself, but it's definitely not the same.
your thing is like shine on crack, like, well, like shine on crack, but if it was like, it's not as good.
Yeah, it's definitely not as good. Like, yeah, I
This
guess
is like magnet. Okay, I should say this is magnet on crack.
This is magnet on crack.
Oh, I cannot do that. Okay. So yeah, it's
so
a
why
frame
is
one
shine
move.
so important?
It links into it does everything. Edge guards, neutral, approaching shine. It makes pressure safe. It's a way to get on plat. It's a movement tool. Whatever your heart desires, shine can do.
Okay.
It's a reason it's such a popular thing. Like it's a popular thing in all of Smash. Like shine does essentially everything you want. Like in this situation right here, like I could just
I want to reset it anyway. We're
Don't
gonna
worry.
stick here for a little bit. 'Cause I think it will help
Yeah.
when we get to the next side, which is like weaknesses of Fox.
So essentially, in a neutral situation, what can I just do? I can just run up shine. Like whereas you can magnet, like run up magnet, I can just run up shine with my frame with a frame one. As soon as like, as soon as it so, as soon as you press shine, it comes out. Like that's the craziest part. And there's this this melee thing where super like out of like, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? like off topic, but like if Fox runs and he jump cancel shines, it's instant. It's
Okay.
just extremely hard. So if you jump and then shine and do it correctly, you just do it immediately. Whereas like if you're running and then shining, you have to what is it called? Crouch first. So yeah,
Um,
frame one move that like it does everything. It's like hard to describe. It's like I don't know what to say. Like moves
nah, dude.
stupid.
Yeah, it's a stupid move. Frame one. It's great for pressure too. Like, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, like
Nair Shine is just so good and hard to deal with. And
Nair shine, dare shine, back air shine. It can cross up. It edge guards. Well, maybe not there. Even my Firefox edge guards. That's how you know a character is good. When you're up beacon edge guard.
oh god.
Like this character can shine in and grab,
Hey,
so
thanks,
essentially your
Suma.
shield's invalidated. It's it's rough.
So,
Like the move.
also, Chad, if you have any questions or anything like you would want to
No.
see discussed, or uh, please like feel free to ask questions. I'm looking at chat as best as I can. I have it coming up on stream.
So
One thing I wanted to talk about was the differences between Melee Fox and PM Fox. The only one
oh
that like I, as someone that plays against the character, really notices is that Shine is no longer invincible. So there are
yeah.
situations where I trade with Shine, and that just feels so good.
Uh the differences are pretty big. Like people exaggerate, like or people will say it's like the Fox mains are exaggerating. Well, so it's still a good move, but it's not exaggerated that the changes are big because aerial shine it sends at like to get it to max strength, you have to actually like do a lot more damage. You have to be at like a higher percent.
Right. So like one thing that's like very common in the melee meta is even at 0, right? You could run up to Fox. So you could run up as Fox and wave shine into up smash or just wave shine again. Like, you could just
Yeah.
keep shining and it will just work. But in this game there seems to be knockback growth to it if I'm correct.
For so grounded shine works exactly the same way. Aerial shine, you have to what is it? You have to actually to get it to like its original melee state because it's weaker while in the air in PM. Where it's like a pseudo nerf. So it's weaker in the air in PM from beginning, but you can get it back to that melee strength if you just like let's say you're at like like this percent ish.
Right?
So if I hit you with shine, it's gonna be the same strength it was before.
Okay.
So it's kind of a weird like nerf, cause and it makes shine weird to use off stage as an edgeguard tool because sometimes when you edgeguard like try to edgeguard people with shine, it actually helps them recover. So sometimes you don't even want to shine when you're trying to edgeguard people because it legitimately does help.
Yeah.
So that's like I guess the only difference between shine.
And there isn't a knockback growth issue because I swear, because like even another thing where it's like in melee, if I get shined off stage at around like 0 or 10%, I'm pretty much done. That's why I
Yes.
stop. But it feels like in this
Shine.
game when that happens, it's like, oh yeah, I'm coming back. Don't worry.
Yeah, no. So yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like it's our shine starts off weak and aerial shine starts off weak,
Okay.
and it goes back to melee strength.
Okay.
Because obviously shine, grounded, and aerial and melee are just they have set knockback.
So Uma was saying some things. Also, I'm curious if Anthony thinks if Fox Full Hop is as strong of an aspect of the character as Shine is. So how do you feel about Full Hop?
Full yeah. So one of the cool things I try to do in PM specifically, like against like a lot of like the floatier characters and characters who have like a lot of like crazy like
Bullshit. No, you
crazy
can say it. Bullshit.
okay
It's
crazy
bullshit.
tactics like bullshit like Mewtwo has like teleports. Ness is like his PK fires. Like no, I shouldn't say bullshit, but like they have like their very like new tactics like that Fox has to deal with when like your melee player like transitioning from melee to PM is you could just full hop over a lot of things. Full hop or even like what I like to do personally, and it's a lot more risky, like double jump, like as like a bait. Like you come in and then bait them in.
And I think right there where we just showed like in both examples of how the character can be. Hey, thanks, Fluffy. How the character can be like double jumping as a spacey, which is really common. You see it a lot.
Yeah.
It can be a great tool to like bait out something or keep your opponent guessing or whatever. But also, if I call out your double jump, it's incredibly easy to just like knock you
Yeah.
off tilt, and depending on your percent, like knock you off stage, and now you don't have a jump. Oh yeah. Oh, gotta love that PM shine.
So yeah, that's why you want to be careful with double jumping as Fox specifically because like and like full hopping because you get so much, but at the same time, look how long it takes for you to get up. That's like like a little, almost a second to get up, and by then you could just run up. And like PM's a pretty fast game, so by the time like Hakim, step away from a bit
No,
and then just
I
dash
was
into
trying to
me real quick.
illustrate that like I
Yeah,
can't just run up in that situation.
but like try to run up real quick. See, so that's why it's can be scary to full hop sometimes as Fox because some if you full hop, you let someone like dash under you if they know you're gonna full hop. And
Yeah.
but if I short hop, I'm ready for like to nair if you're trying to come at me.
And it keeps you out like perfectly too.
Yeah. But full hopping's perfect because sometimes like your opponent like you could mix your opponent up like you could avoid a lot of things. You could avoid a lot of hitboxes. Like Hakeem can't downer me if I'm full hopping. So it's kind of nice to have the option of full hopping as Fox. Oh my god. No! Split! God, and also I think the coolest thing, I'm just gonna like side point, but like having visual hitboxes is actually the coolest thing ever in PM.
Yeah.
I've missed this.
Oh
Like,
no.
oh my god, you're near. Oh, that's such a good idea. That's so interesting. I get to actually see the tail of the PK,
Yeah, it's
the
stupid,
PK
right?
Thunder.
It's
No,
actually
no,
stupid.
it's just more interesting. I never knew it was like that.
Oof. And see, like right there, like Nair's so good.
And
Nair's
Lynx,
so good.
yeah, kill confirm. Whatever you want with Nair. Like a lot of Fox's moves, like elite, it essentially, what's the word? Fox's move just lets you do whatever you want. Like, if you do Fox's move, it leads to whatever you want. Like, it's like a sandbox. Whatever you want to do with Fox, he'll let you do.
I
The
totally
world
agree
is
with
your
that.
oyster with Fox.
Like Fox players aren't scary because Fox is good. Is because they're so Fox allows them the creativity to pretty much do whatever they want.
But
So if you're a smart enough player, you
yeah,
can make. Okay. All right, game. You good? So yeah,
it
if you're.
allows you. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You were gonna say.
No. Don't worry. It allows you to be like as creative as you want, but at the same time, like Fox also like, if you're creative in the like if you're not being creative in the correct way, you can just die.
Like, I remember one time I got into
Like
this
that.
like kind of mini argument on like it's like touching on like that what you're saying before was like kind of like your creativity, but also I just saw it as like mix-ups, right? So I got into like this mini argument with someone through Twitter about Mewtwo and his weaknesses, and I was like, oh well, you could do X, and he's like, well they can Y, well you can do this, and well then they can just do this again, and I'm like, yeah, dude, that's the name of the fucking game. Like you got to mix up. Like I'm sorry, one option like doesn't solve everything, and unfortunately, well not unfortunately, because the game would be really boring if it was like that, but that's how the game works. Not even just matchups, like everything, you have to mix it up if you, and that's pretty much how Yomi layers work. You know, like your option, you're gonna throw your option
Yeah.
one, which is Yomi layer one. My option is Yomi layer two, which beats that option. Then you got to move on to Yomi layer three, and then eventually we're just like gonna keep switching back between Yomi layer one and three and two because that's just how the game works. Like you know, like
Yeah, so essentially, if there was a move that that like solved all your options, then there you go. You found the best character in the game.
right?
You
There you
found the
go.
definitive best character in the game. And it's like the only things that like these moves do, like the moves that that can cancel out Yomi, like those little Yomi layers, those little mind games, are moves that like are better at dealing with letting you do less options out of it, like
Right.
giving you less options when you have to deal with it. Like there's less ways to beat it. And that's what makes a good move. Like Fox up smash, like there's ways to beat it, but there's like less ways to beat it than there like on Ness up smash, where it's a lot more easier to beat.
Right. They cover a lot more. And since it's a little faster, you can kind of do a
Yeah.
lot more with it too.
And so that's why like a lot of theory crafting is important when like learn like when a game's developing and like meta's evolving. But like some of the things are already known, like Fox's up smash. Yeah. Good luck punishing that. Like
Oh, yeah,
there's not that many things that punish it.
that's another major nerf from Melee. Because up smash is real ignorant in that game.
Yeah, it's still pretty like good in this game. Like the nerf was definitely needed. Like I know there's like a lot of argument as to where it was needed or not, but I think it was like more needed. Like
Yeah. Um, jab up smash isn't a thing in this game anymore, right?
it is. So where it's not a thing is sometimes like if you're holding out, sometimes you'll just like. I wish like I had someone smarter to like explain this better to me, but or explain this better. But essentially, what happens with jab up smash in this game is it's a lot harder to like. It's easier to SDI in this game. Though
Okay.
I've seen sometimes people just hold out and they'll survive, or they won't get hit by the up smash.
Every time I've ever heard like a PM spacey player complain about the need for jab up smash, I think about that one Australian tournament that they flew out Lucky and Leffen to and Mango, and so Leffen was playing PM and he was like in grand finals, so Mango and Lucky were commentating, and Lucky and then Mango goes, "Oh wow!" It's like 3.5, and it's like, "Oh wow, jab up smash doesn't work in this game. That's good because that's just like
It's pretty
egregious."
like yeah.
And it's like when Mango is sitting here like, "Yeah, that's pretty stupid." Like I'm glad, yeah, they should have took that out. I'm like I don't know, dog. Maybe just play better. I don't know.
A lot of the people who want to keep stuff like that in are usually super relegated to their only competitive game being like melee. Like the only competitive thing they know is melee. Not all the time, like not everyone, but like
Yeah, I find most smashers just play like Smash competitively. But sometimes it's weird talking to them with like what balance should look like, in my opinion, because like they don't have any real conception. God damn it, they don't have any real conception of like other games and other
yeah.
metas and how things look.
We
Well,
can set it
say,
to 6 if you want, by the way.
what?
Set the buffer to 6.
Probably is a better idea actually.
Yeah, don't worry. It'll keep it nice and consistent. So it's also weird though, like a lot of like melee players who do come in too, like I know a lot of the melee spacing players, and it's weird to say, like they'll complain, but it's because they only like I guess platform fighter they ever know is Smash. Like that's the only 1v1 game they're usually used to.
Yeah,
Like they'll play like a lot of team-based games and stuff. Like they'll know how to play team-based game like League or like CS or something like that. But then when it comes to like one games where you have to do like sync 1v1, like they're not used to playing like different things like that. That's not melee,
yeah. Unfortunately, so.
and so their perspective's a little warped as to what should be and what shouldn't be in the game.
Yeah, no, dude, I totally agree with you. I
Yeah.
totally agree with you. So let's start talking about Falco's strengths. I mean,
Ah.
oh god, look at this frigging quick time event of a match.
So Falco, stopping power, stopping power to character.
Mm.
Like this character is all about stopping power. Down air is cancels out anything you want to like. So, real quick, down air.
Oh
This
yeah.
move
Go for it.
essentially like one of the main ways to beat out like a move in like PM is to either shield it or crouch cancel it. Falco's down air, it beats out. Wait, don't shield, crouch. It beats out crouch cancel. So it's like, oh, that's fine. So I'll just shield it like a normal person, right? So the unfortunate thing about shielding Falco's down air is he can shine. So it's like, oh, cool. So you just think to yourself, you're like, oh, so what do I do against it? And essentially, not much. Like, if you get caught in Falco's trap of down air, like you kind of just have to accept that you're gonna probably take damage, and then hope to like you can like survive the combo that's coming up.
Right. My game plan generally seems to be space around the move, so I can
Yeah,
get the punish. Hold on. Hold on.
don't worry. like stiff, like more linear movement.
Right.
Like he like his amazing thing is that like look at this like a player known as Palika told me about this. So where Falco's faster, his run speeds is fastest thing obviously, and his walk's pretty fast. But if he jumps and then does this, he's actually faster than when he's running.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because the way his like momentum works.
Okay.
So which is funny though. Like so when he's lasering, he's pretty fast. Though it's kind of like his movements is kind of like obviously it's like it's not predictable, but it's like a set piece. It's like I think Uma's a player I know named Uma Thurman said it best. He's more of just it's like you're playing chess. Like it's a set piece, like a set by set character. Like you have to move in certain spots, but like you'll know like if you're playing against Falco, not playing against Falco, you know where he's gonna be. You'll
Exactly.
know the places where he can be.
And that's like one thing against like playing in spaces like as a newer player where it's like, dude, they have so many options. They're doing so much shit. What can you really do against it? And like I used to really struggle in this matchup. In fact, I still think it's one of my worst matchups. Like personally, not even on a like
Yeah,
character thing, but it's kind of like, oh god, it's
it
kind
can
of
be odd.
like, it's kind of like you learn through experience how to deal with them, and like a lot of what you want to do against the Spaceys is kind of you want them to bait out a really bad or unsafe move, maybe overextend if you can, and then punish that. Obviously,
Yeah.
there is moments where you're gonna have to overextend because if you can't really play too safe against the Spaceys, you have to always be offering some kind of pressure to them
Though
because
it is yeah.
I was gonna say because like they're also pretty good at playing lane. You know, like they're pretty good at just like lasers are just so good. You can just stand on the other side of the stage, and I gotta really work my way over there.
No, you just power shield and I'm stuck.
Well, they're power shielding.
So no, the way I guess a good way to like describe also the Spacey like playing against Spaceys is
Wait,
their tools
hold on,
are
hold on. I'm sorry. Just don't say anything real quick.
don't
I'm
worry.
about to be right back and check something. Sorry, guys. I just had to take Fortnite away from a 10-year-old.
Don't worry. So yeah, Hakeem. I guess the best way to say it is like saying Spaceys have like all the options like to be everything is like also a little weird to say because they're all their options don't be everything.
Right, right, and kind of like what I was saying before, where it's like the nature of the game or being good in general, like you're gonna have to mix up your options, right?
So I guess the best way to describe it too is like fighting against Spaceys is you have to figure out what options are the ones that work against the Spaceys options. Like and use them against when the Spaceys throw out the option that like the good option, you got to figure out what's the option I have that beats that option. Which every character has them. Except like, maybe Puff, but like
Maybe Puff. Oh no, what do you
poor
mean? She
Puff.
got back here.
Yeah, so even Puff has something. But it's just like you have to figure out what your options are. And the reason it's like it can be really frustrating to play against Spaceys is that you can explode when you get touched by them. You can just randomly explode, but because like they'll just put you in constant pressure. And I guess the pressure of Spaceys is overwhelming. Their pressure is just overwhelmingly strong.
And it
Like
causes you to like
it's
make
intimidating,
mistakes.
huh?
And it causes you to make the opponent to make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, like you ever just like playing against a character that's just extremely fast. You're like, oh, what's going on? I'm not used to this. You're like, there's so much going on. Like I'm not ready to deal with like something this fast, which can be like super frustrating for people. Because I understand, like playing against a character at super high APM, like that's rough. Like you're you're not used to playing against it, and you have to develop like skills to like beat it.
Ugh.
Like not everyone's used to playing against like a fat character. It's like as like a gun that like covers the screen. Like
The
oh,
entire
also
screen.
I guess the best way to say Falco lasers, like the best way to describe it, is they don't what is it? They don't stop you from moving. I guess the best way to describe it, like, because there's a misconception if Falco lasers stop you from like doing what you want to do. I mean, not doing what you want. They put you in place. I'm like, that's not true. They don't keep you in place. Like, they don't stop you from being in one spot. What they do is they interrupt whatever you're doing.
Right. Okay, I can see how you might see it like that.
Cause like I there's so many VODs if you could just pull up even like more melee where there's a lot more hit stun in for lasers where all Mars and like Foxes will do is they'll wait for Falco laser and then they'll punish them for lasering because like they're like, oh cool, laser, tight. It's my turn to just punish the Falco for lasering because it doesn't stop me, keep me in place. I can move around these. And I actually watched a VOD where a Marth will just spam F smash while the Falco lasers and there's like and these are top 100 players.
So
Even
yeah,
like I
these
think the
aren't
top
some like random scrubs from a local.
yeah, like the way Falco Laser should be used is that like you shouldn't have to fear them as like something that's gonna like keep you in place. Because if you think about it like that, you're gonna lose every time. You're gonna be scared of Falco. You're gonna develop all that phobia. But just think of them as like wait, he's gonna interrupt you and be like, okay, he interrupted me for a second. I can still play my game. Just what I was doing at the moment was interrupted, and obviously that can be very frustrating because seeing a laser come at you and you're like, well, the game plan's interrupted. Now what do I do? You just have to keep. Ooh, Justin. All right.
Justin. Shout out to Justin.
Our homie.
I
So
actually
yeah.
had him on stream the other day as my warm up buddy. In
Huh.
between
Hell yeah.
in between tournament sets.
Oh. So yeah, and also like obviously like Falco, like anywhere Falco's a threat, like you have to be concerned of him. Like that's never to say like this isn't to downplay Falco, but it's just like make sure people don't fear that because he has stuff like that.
So I think that would be a perfect segue into something else I want to touch on, like the differences between the shines for both Fox and Falco.
Huh. Yeah, that's a good point.
So like obviously, we kind of went into Fox's shine and like it kind of can do everything. Whereas Falco shine actually has its
A purpose.
yeah, it actually has a purpose. It's not just a one size fits all like
Yeah.
problem solver.
Well, I mean, to an extent, it does similar things to Fox, where it can like, it can edge guard, it can like combo, it can do all that. The difference is though, it's like it mostly is used like it's more percent based. No, it's more percent based. Where like if you want to do some of these things, you have to be at certain percent. So like,
Right.
because it the knockback, the way it works, it does send higher. Like it does like scale.
Actually, let me die so I can. Oh, okay. All right, cool. Just so like to better
Yeah.
illustrate.
So Shine does like obviously scale a bit. Oh god. Okay.
Yeah, I know this lag is ridiculous.
Don't worry.
I think it might be the hitboxes or the fact that I'm streaming.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually a lot better.
So so obviously Shine will send higher, slightly higher. So you have to be a little more percent cautious. Because like the way obviously Shine works is 1 sec. So it's more percent based. So a lot of things you have to do for combos, like you have to be remember it or like be like have cognizant awareness of like what you're doing. Like you gotta know, you gotta follow up, react, and just know like the situations, and that's obviously comes with practice. And so the one thing where it like obviously lacks in, like I said before, like the big difference is I guess edge guarding, where it's used as like you can do one thing with where you can shine and back air as an edge guard, but that's like about it. And other areas where it's like weird and was where it's I guess just straight up follow ups because at higher percents it's just used. You can kind of just shield against Falco, and whereas if you got hit by like a shine, how do I say this? you can kind of just like crouch and shield more against Falco, and oh, this is a, whereas if you get hit by a shine at any point, you could just like if you get hit by a shield and you got shield poked, it's like okay because like you're gonna get sent higher,
Yeah.
and there's not much of a worry. Where Fox's shine is set knockback,
Um.
but that's like kind of minuscule. Whereas like at certain percents, like you're more in danger to getting hit by Falco stuff because Falco's pressure is dangerous.
There's couple more thing. Oh god.
Also, one more thing with a shielding against Falco. Falco's grab combos follow-ups aren't they don't really he doesn't really have grab follow-ups, which is unfortunate. Like if you shield real quick, the best I have is that, and it's like more of like you know
It's
it's
more
just a read,
situation. Yeah. It's like do it
and
again.
especially
Do it
since
again.
P plus. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Maybe I can't. Why can't I
Even
tech this anymore?
you don't have to tech it. You don't have to tech it. You don't have to tech it. That's the
Okay.
thing. So even in P plus added obviously they changed up text so you can it's easier to escape stuff like that. So my one of the things I like, I guess a crutch I had for Falco is I would rely on that down throw. And he kind of has follow-ups like that, but they're situational, which makes shielding like, and it makes shine weird. It makes shine and a lot of Falco stuff weird. It makes it so Falco has to rely on like a lot of like getting the hidden and being precise. Like if Falco fucks up even in his combo game, he can lose because his opponent might be 2 at a odd percent to combo. Though this is nice. Oh no! Are you serious? That was beautiful.
I think that will be the perfect segue into the next section. We can always go back to like their strengths and like stuff that they do well and whatnot. But weaknesses of the species.
Oh, this.
They are
they're
very gimpable.
they're fragile. Like their recoveries have like they're good, very good in like a lot of areas, but then if you sniff out the recovery, because in some of the areas where it is weak, like it can be rough. Like Spaceys are fragile characters. So like when you try to recover, you could just like randomly get in a corner and then boom, you're in a bad spot. Also, these characters are, if you look right now, they fall fast. They hit the ground fast. So they're susceptible to some characters who have things where they could just throw them upwards and
Oh, I know what you're getting at. Chain grabs.
chain
Yeah.
grabs, up throw follow-ups. Like Ness is a perfect example. Like he'll just chain grab up. He can do up air shenanigans. This is like a combo like weight that Ness loves to just do whatever on. And from here, I'm in a terrible spot. And Hakeem's proficient at edgeguard. Hakeem is proficient at edgeguarding, so like you have to be careful with spaces where like if you get touched, you get there's a mistake. You're gonna get really washed for your mistake.
Yeah, you definitely
Also,
will end up paying for that mistake in one way.
this
shape,
is
or
very
form.
like a very odd weakness, I guess. But having, and it's not like something people talk about too much, but Spaceys do have a tail hurt box.
Oh my god, are you serious?
No one, yeah, no one
Hold
knows
on.
about it. Yeah, look, like it's a little
my
odd. It's not
God.
as big as it looks, but Spaceys do have a tail hurt. Actually, let me do that. There you go. Yeah, it's not as big as it looks, but Spaceys do have a tail hurt box, which is like, I guess not the weirdest weakness because every character in PM is like super asymmetrical, but it does exist.
Okay. So like,
And I guess that is like their only true weakness is like
yeah, they're glass cannons.
they're very fragile. And
But-
super high execution, of course. And that high execution, like even like no player has ever mastered like the high execution like perfectly of like these space animals. You still can die for random things in PM. Like
Oh my
I don't think
God.
there's anything here that like people can argue there's any like player that actually in the barrier of like never making a mistake with spaceys because everyone does. Maybe in the future we'll reach a level where people don't actually like make mistakes with spaceys, but like I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
That I definitely don't think so as well. What
And
my
even then, like, it's weird because a lot of people who won't, like, can't make mistakes in space will just switch off to a different character.
yeah, and like
And yeah,
sometimes like well, let me not let's not make this an opinion piece.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, that is something that's very common, especially within PM. A lot of players they see it as like, there's such a high execution. Like, you have to be really technical with spacies, and then you can just pick another character that's just as good, is sometimes better
Wolf.
for like less work. Like, you know what I
Wolf
mean?
does,
Like,
yeah. Wolf is like a great example of like where people like just have him as like a Falco, but like he's the PM Falco. He does everything like he destroys all the matchups he should.
yeah,
Also, another thing about Falco that makes it rough, and this is more of like a PM issue and not really a Falco issue. Not many people want to pick up this character
yeah,
because
that's
there's a fear of dying. There's a like dying as Falco quickly. There's a fear of like getting like comboed crazy. There's a fear of like randomly getting get. There's fears of everything. So people won't invest into Falco, which means there's a lot like very little Falco players, which is super unfortunate if you're trying to get into like Falco and PM. You're trying to learn because there's not that many Falco players to watch. Like there's me, there's Silver, there's Birdman, there's there's a couple more. I know there's a couple more, but those are ones I can think on the top of my head, and it's really unfortunate. Like you have it rough as a PM player trying to play Falco. So like you'll see also that like the most proficient like if you find a Falco player playing PM, that means they're proficient in the game, like or they're proficient in their craft. They're proficient in the game. Like they've been learning the game forever.
yeah.
They didn't start off playing Falco, and they didn't start off the game playing Falco, and they definitely wanted to play Falco for a while. Like people who play Falco have been like wanting to play Falco for a bit. They're like super dedicated.
Wow, what a what a fucking mix up. Um,
Like even I didn't start playing Falco. Silver didn't start off playing Falco. Birdman didn't start off playing Falco. It's rough.
so there's one thing that keeps coming up, which I think is another point to talk about matchup wise. So Spacey, I kind of said it before, where like around Spaceys, you kind of want to like space out around some of their moves, with Falco's especially the down air. But
Yeah.
see, these characters are so fast that they can just like do an aerial and then buffer spot dodge, and it's probably gonna whiff whatever pivot grab or option you're gonna go for. So sometimes it's best to like slow down a bit, or maybe throw out another move besides a longer lasting move than just your grab, right? So like one
Yeah.
thing you could do as Ness, like now Nesses tend to do this, or I try to say to them all the time, ones that are lower level, stop trying to grab every time you catch a PK fire, because once you play someone with a brain, they're just gonna spot dodge, right? So what you want to do is then like run up magnet or run past them, see what happens, right? But run up magnet, and then maybe you can get a back air off
Yeah.
because they already wasted their spot dodge on something like stupid or non-existent.
That is true. And what's really nice about like what is it? The way Spaceys operate is so catching bad habits on a lot of characters isn't like it's like nice when you catch on a character. Obviously, like you catch someone like teleport, like a Mewtwo teleporting in. What is it? A Diddy Kong like pulling a banana at the wrong time. The usual stuff. But catching a Spacey doing like a bad habit, like spot dodging, trying to spot dodge a lot, means you get rewarded high. So
Yeah.
if you catch a Spacey doing like something wrong, you get rewarded for it.
That would have been a perfect example of that, but lag got in the way.
Yeah. But yeah, like these characters definitely do get like punished for like doing things wrong, which is like nice. Like they very much get punished for doing like stuff like that wrong, which not gonna lie is like super nice. But it's also frustrating as a Spacey player because it means you get less chances to learn.
Yeah, and not really a lot of chances to like make a mistake at all. Like
Yeah.
like you got to play on point the entire time, the entire set. You really have to be on. You
Which
could,
people forget about the mental game too. Like it can over like during just a friendly session, it's fine to play Spaceys. Like, but like when you're playing in tournament, like doing constantly playing on point, that can be very tiresome.
I think that's a point that like I think it's overlooked in esports a lot. Like your stamina. I for one I think I have pretty okay stamina, but there's some players that just like they can play at a top level like all fucking day, and it's like, dude, I need like you get fucking 5 hours out of me, like total like 5 hours.
Like I need to get some what is it? I need to get some like what is it? Some Korean barbecue. I
Your
need to get some
rice,
Wendy's.
like I
Like
need to get some in me
you need
with
to get
some
some Lucky
music.
Taco. Like I need some food. Like you need some food, you need some relaxation, you need to go do something, you need to go chat with people. So it's like it can be rough sometimes. Like I know it's like a lot of people overlook that. They're like, no, that doesn't exist. Like stamina, like you have to like you're just constantly playing. Like, every character has to work as hard. I'm like, not really.
I feel like
Like
oh my god, like though, like when I first started like getting like a little further in bracket, and as even as far as locals go, right? When I started getting like further in bracket, let's say like top three, top four, that's when I first started to notice like, oh my god, I don't think I have the will for this right now. Like, and that was a problem for me for a little bit. Whereas like I didn't have the stamina to play the way I should be playing for an entire tournament.
yeah. So I also want to mention like a comparison as to why spaces can like be a lot more like have a lot more can be a lot more tiring is like an example of like an opper in like CS in Counter Strike. Playing the op is rough. Like it's a very strong really over centralized weapon, but like using a rifle like just an AK or an M16 like that's fine. Like it's like not as like it's not like it doesn't it's not as hard. Like stuff like that. Like space are essentially like an op. Like they're glass. Like you do good, you do good. If you do bad, you get punished hard.
Yeah,
But you have the potential to do good, which is what I
all
love
right,
talking about
yeah.
spaces. Like where like if you have the stamina for this, like definitely do it. Like these characters are a worthwhile investment if you like know how to use them. Specifically Fox. And like I also do play Wolf, so he's also another worthwhile investment. Falco's like a character like I recommend if you really do truly love like the way he plays. Like it's not something I like advise people to play immediately in PM.
I guess that's another good segue. Where do you feel like these characters are on the tier list? You might as well like we're gonna get into Mewtwo a little bit later, but
Yeah.
you might like still like voice your opinion.
So it's weird. I'll have Fox somewhere in like the top 5, top 10-ish area. Usually on the higher, like sometimes I'll just have him third or fourth. But like he floats around like my top, like the top tier characters for me.
Okay,
It's just weird. I don't know, like since it's PM, I don't know where to place him because I'm like I need like I want to see more. Like I want to see his current meta, but like he always floats around there for me. Whereas Falco, it's like weird. Like he beats the matchup he needs to beat, but then when it comes to matchups where he like wants to be good at, like it can be rough. Like the top tiers like matchups he really needs to be good at, he struggles in. Like Fox, Meta Knight, Marth, even things like ZSS, like these characters like all like Wolf, like these characters can like do really good against Falco, and it's rough for him. Whereas Fox like can kind of like does really good against these characters and doesn't have any issues with like the high and low tiers.
right. I was actually just about to ask you that. What are some of the characters you believe beat Fox and Falco respectively?
Uh, for Fox, not much. Like my top tiers are weird because I think they're all like relatively balanced. Like I guess the characters that like I would say the most would be like for Fox, Marth, and then I think just Marth. Marth and Mewtwo does Mewtwo. Mewtwo can like goes evenish too. Like Mewtwo and Marth and so there's a weird comparison where people like tell me like why do you think but Mewtwo's like if you so people I have an opinion of where Mewtwo's like better Marth and people will tell me like well if Mewtwo beats what is it if Mewtwo's just better Marth why do you think they're like evenish regardless and that's because like the way the matchup plays out just because Mewtwo's like a better Marth doesn't mean like the matchup will play out the same like he's a floaty Mewtwo's a floaty and the way the way he travels it like super susceptible to Fox things. And
Okay.
as Marth, like his combo game's like, oh god, his dash S game is really good against Fox. Like he has certain aspects where he's just super strong against Fox, and I guess Meta too.
Yeah, I was thinking
Like,
Meta Knight actually.
kind of, yeah.
But when it comes to like things like this, I try to like not really voice my opinion, like
Yeah.
in the way you're the expert. But yeah, like in my opinion, wait, doesn't like Rob like destroy Falco?
No. And that's just a me thing.
No, no, but like like I've heard other
No.
Falcos say before, and there's that time where like
No.
Westball's got force stock by
Yeah, but
drinking food and
Westfalls isn't too knowledgeable about PM stuff.
true.
I'm just very bad against Rob some randomly, and that's just me.
Okay,
Whereas Falco doesn't shouldn't really have a trouble against Rob.
okay.
And
Um,
so like that those Fox's matchups, Hard's matchups are these three, and Wolf kind of, but Fox so like the way Fox's tools work, it like definitely plays in his favor against a Wolf matchup
okay.
because his Nair's he has a sex kick. Like having a sex kick just it's so nice against Wolf. You just stuff out everything. You can kick through a laser and you can just hit him.
Okay.
Whereas Falco's matchups can be weird because like you can arguably say Peach does even against him. Wario beats him. Oh, even now, actually, Wario might actually be even now. Like Diddy can go even. Fox, like Wolf, these characters are all like really close in skill to him. Like she can be close. Mewtwo, like Samus can be close-ish. Zero Meta Knight,
I like that you said
Marth.
close-ish. Like,
Yeah,
I was about to be like,
yeah. Because Samus, like obviously, it's a like people consider an even matchup in Melee.
okay. Oh, really? Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's considered an even matchup, slightly Falco favored. So when you look at like the way the characters work in this game, like it can be like Samus favored, possibly, but like I think it's like evenish. Marv and Roy, Ike. There's also like, and finally like people are kind of like getting on this train where Ike just destroys Falco, which I think it's like still evenish. Like me and Silver are the only people who think like Ike doesn't dig it. Falco doesn't get decimated by Ike, but there is like very much like a true factor where like the way Ike's combo game works, it's pretty crazy against Falco.
Right.
Ice climbers are actually weird for Falco, which is funny.
Really? Why do you say that?
Um, one ice block eats a laser.
Really?
Yeah. So like, you kind of just have to respect like ice blocks. You have to respect Blizzard. It's like it's really odd to play against.
Yeah, there's a lot it seems like you have to respect.
And
Um,
whereas like you have to respect all those moves, and if you get caught, you die. Cause like you just get grabbed, then there's an infinite across the screen.
okay, let me see if I had any more questions. I think, what are some moves you should avoid using with spacies or like just in general some do's and don'ts?
Avoid you moves to avoid using none. That's the cool thing about Spacies. You don't want to avoid it using any of your moves. But of course, like when I say that, I mean you should never avoid using your moves, but you should know when to use them. And that's where the hard part of Spacies comes in, like knowing when to use your actual moves.
And like do's and don'ts, like don't be too aggressive, or we kind of touched on that a little bit when we said don't be
Yeah,
predictable because there's
yeah.
nothing worse than a predictable spacey. Because once I know every move you're gonna do, you're gonna get force stopped. It's just how it
It's
works.
the
Like
way
it's
it
just how
is.
it works, dog. Like I'm gonna get one grab and
Like
you're dead.
I guess even then, like you can be aggressive. Like even if it is PM, like people have this misconception you can't be aggressive with Spaces in PM. Like you can. You just have to not be predictable. Like if you're predictable defensively, you're gonna get opened up. Like it can happen too. Like people say like you can be predictably aggressive, but you can also be predictably defensive. Like it happens.
Right.
So know what you got to do against a matchup. Like you concentrate on your opponent, what you have to do against your opponent. Sometimes you got to play more aggressive against your opponent. It happens. Like sometimes you don't know enough about your opponent. You got to like figure it out. It's like a whole thing you have to figure out by yourself.
Um.
Just take caution and be like think about like what you're doing and like why it's not working and all that. There's always with Spacies there's always something you can do different.
Honestly, I like that. I like that a lot. With Spacies, there's always something you can do different. There's always something because, again, like they have a lot of tools, and it's just how you use them. So, at some point, you have to like stop and look at yourself and go, well, okay, what am I doing in neutral? What options am I picking? That doesn't seem like a good option. Let me try this option. Like, I like that statement a lot,
And
actually.
this goes to like other characters too, like and the whole cast. Like if you're doing something wrong, what you got to like you got to do something different. But the thing about Spaces is that like the majority of time like you have these options that are you could just win. like directly. Like they're a lot more direct.
Okay.
Though if you're off stage, you're dead. You have you have a couple options. You can shine stall, you can go higher. But the most times you like if you got off stage, what you gotta do to avoid like getting like gimped like in those situations is not get into the situation to begin with.
I can see that. Um, so would you like to move on to Mewtwo, or is there anything else you want to talk about? Like we definitely can. Like you know what I mean. Like there's so much
Um,
that we can go over, especially for like characters. We can be here for 3 hours, you know. But
Spaces are like crazy depth. Like if you want to like learn more about spaces, you gotta like you definitely like it's always good to watch like the melee players. Like watch Mango, watch Lucky, watch Leffen, like all these like strong players. Like IBDW, like there's so much like information out there for Spacies. You can have so much like compiling all the Spacey information into just 1 hour, 2 hours, like it's impossible.
yeah, there's also uh there's also something to be said about when you're watching players. You shouldn't just be watching. I mean, depending on the level, right? But like pretty early on, if you ask me, you shouldn't be watching to see what moves they're doing, or if you can just do their particular set of tech skill. You should be trying to understand why they picked an option.
Yes, and why they
Not,
did it in the certain. Yeah, yeah. Keep
yeah.
going. Sorry.
No, no, I was gonna say like you should try to understand why they picked that option. Not like, oh, well, this option just wins. Like, no, that's just not how it works. Like, you should try to understand why the opponent picked that option.
So yeah, and why they did that option, and why they're and if it failed, why did their opponent react like? Why did their opponent do the thing they did to like react to their option? Like and see what they're doing to reaction to certain options. Like there's things like the person like spaces will do like in reaction to things, and if it's wrong or not. Like was it wrong to do it or not? There's just so much to go over with Spaceys. It's insane. And then there's Space Cat.
Then there's Space Cat.
Space Cat's this is an interesting character because this character has a lot of like has been like revised a lot.
Yeah, and there seems to be a lot of contention around the character and like is he still top, like still a top character. Like some people think he's pretty bad now, some people think he's just fine, some people think he's stupider than ever because other characters got nerfs.
See,
um
the thing is like usually I want to agree with that, but like there's a whole thing happening with Wolf and like every character is having that happen. Like every top tier people are like, no, the character isn't as good as it is, but if you see it in relative terms, like it's pretty much the same.
yes, in relative terms, like I would agree with that as well, where it's
Cause
like
like yeah,
Mewtwo's as a matchup that I have a good amount of experience in. Eat that. Um, Mewtwo's a character I have a good amount of experience with. It's just he's just
cause
so
like
hard to fight against. And
yeah,
wait, I would like to try something real quick.
yeah,
I'm going to shut down the game.
yeah. Maybe just reset it. You want me to host actually?
See, I already have it set up on stream that I was like player one and you're player two. I have like
Oh, I can
your
set that change. I can change that too.
oh, you can make me player one.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just switch around the logos. It's just.
No, we can switch ports. Remember?
Oh yeah, okay, bet. Yeah, send me a code.
So yeah, the way I guess it's weird because like the way PM works is obviously like everyone will complain about the top tiers, like their top tiers getting nerfed. It always happens. Like I know there's still there's a group of people who think Wolf isn't as good as he is. There's a group of people who think like Fox isn't as good as he is. There's a group of people who think CSS isn't that good. Like they exist.
Yeah,
I code you by the way.
yeah, I just saw it.
Like there's always like a one that one anomaly who will like, just go hard. Like there's a couple anomalies like where people or not anomalies I should say there's always those people with those hardcore opinions where they'll say their character isn't as good as they are. Which,
Uh,
you know, the characters do get nerfed and stuff. It does happen. All right, let me put you to port one.
Thank you.
Yeah. But it does happen. Like the characters do get nerfed, but in the bigger picture of it, they're still strong characters, even if like you don't want to put them in like a specific certain spot. Like Space Cat's still strong. Like oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say with Mewtwo, like because again, I fought against this character for years, man. um,
Yeah.
what Mewtwo is like, he has, first of all, he has range. Yes, his tail is still a massive hurt box, but it still keeps most of the cast out.
Yeah.
It's really hard to contest that kind of like stuff that he throws at you. Um,
Cause yeah.
cause like again, like
Oops, sorry. So, for an example, remember that like Mewtwo's hurt boxes are only halfway. Oh, uh-oh. Yo, are we still good?
yeah, we still good. I'm here.
Oh, I'm doing something wrong. Whoops. So here we go. One sec. I need to stop doing that. Okay. So Mewtwo's hurt boxes obviously are only go hurt box. It's only like halfway across the tail. So if you look at it, if it's only halfway across the tail, it's still a giant amount of space you still have to work with.
Can you
It's
turn on
just
the
like
hurt boxes, please?
there isn't hurt boxes in PM. Fun fact.
Oh, fun
But like
fact.
the you just have to account for your hurt box. Like you just have to remember it constantly. Like if you remember your hurt box, you should be fine. Like you just have to see it as part of the character. Like it's like a compensation for having such good tools. You have a giant hurt box, which isn't too bad. Oh, I should do it more often, but it isn't too bad if you like remember that you're like you just have to just space it like Marth. Like if you play like Marth, you should be fine. Just keep it spaced. 'Cause even Marth, like he extends his hand when he down tilts. When he F smash, he extends his hands. Like characters extend their hurt box when like they hit. So it's like it is unfortunate Mewtwo does actually have a giant hurt box, but like it's not the worst thing in the world. Like there could be worse. Like it could be an entire tail.
Yeah, and it's like you know, and like as far as weaknesses go, it's not the biggest weakness in my
Yeah.
opinion, because again, like the character, similarly to Spacey's, like he almost has an answer to almost any option. You just gotta
Yeah.
figure out what your answer is. In some cases, like a lot of his options answered a lot of different problems. Like one for
Yes.
him, one option can solve several different problems,
There you
and
go.
that's a good way to look at neutral in general, or like matchups in general is problem solving, where it's like okay,
Yeah.
what's one
So,
thing that's annoying? Okay, yeah, so like for this
there we
man,
go.
yeah, oh yeah, we're
There.
finally here, folks. So for yeah, but yeah, that move. It's so hard to deal with flow back air. So, damn, what do I do about that? Maybe I can hit him in between them.
But then he does this. So you have to like space out things correctly.
You really do. It took me so long to learn that kind of stuff, dog. Like it took me so long. Wow,
Which is
that's what
funny that
his
you're like,
landing
yeah.
hitbox looks like.
Yeah,
Gross.
remember? It's funny that this is like my stronger character like sometimes like and it just randomly is like it's just a character I've been wanting to like play forever and it's just like I'm glad I finally got to play him and it feels nice to play him too. I do recognize that he does have weaknesses where like a lot of YouTube mains will tell me like his weakness, but like his strengths are just insanely strong too. Like at a distance, this move.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Yep.
Do it
You were
again.
doing a low down air. And I'm safe because float or floaty.
And that's another thing. Since
And it's
he's
just rough,
floaty,
like
he's not like nearly as murderable as like the Spaceys are, right? Like,
which is yeah, super nice. Like he's like I'm living to 208, but then sometimes obviously it is a weakness though, being super floaty. Like you are susceptible to more dying to more things at times. But being a floaty means you don't fall as fast when recovering, so you could just if you're off stage, you're fine. Like you're just gonna be like, oh, I'm falling, unfortunate, double jump, teleport back, and
and
you're like, oh, cool.
because of the nature of like teleporting in general, first of all, you kind of like give up edge guards to him for free, unless you
Yeah,
really know he's gonna like there's certain things you can do, right? Like sometimes I'll
like
hold
that.
ledge. Oh yeah, right. There's that. Like if you really know he's gonna hold ledge, like you can quickly snipe it. But oftentimes
But
they have the time to do something
yeah,
like that. So like you're pretty much giving up free edge guards to the character on a constant basis. So usually what I'll opt to do is just instead of just like I don't know forcing an edge guard, I'll just like maintain positioning, which is something I feel like goes overlooked by a lot of players. They always want to they look at punishes as like a physical thing, like where oh that's the punish, oh that's the punish for him because he hit me, but they don't see the punishing as like me getting positioning. Like I still have positioning, bro.
So
Like
my favorite thing to do and talk about with people is this, like right here, this situation right here. So wait, no. So this situation right here, like there we go. Now I'm like in a better place. Like you have to understand that like since this is a platform fighter, like movement, positioning, like where you're at means a lot too in like in terms of the game. Like if you're in the center of the stage, you are in a high like let's say we're both at like 70, you're at 78, I'm at 72. I'll take a jab where I'm going to take or you'll be okay taking a jab where you're now it's we're both at 78 or like let's say you're at 70 like 9. You're still in the center. Like our difference is 1%, but you have center stage. Like
right, and that means I get to control the pacing of neutral.
like that.
Like I get to force you to come to me, which is like something
Which
that gets really overlooked in my
and like
opinion.
1% is nothing. Like if you think about it in the grand scheme of thing, you're like, oh, 1%. That's it doesn't mean, like it means it can mean a lot in some situations. But if you think about it, 1% for stage control, I would take that all the time. Like I would throw away that 1% all the time if I could just teleport to the middle of the stage,
Yeah, no, definitely.
which Mewtwo could in the past do. Like Mewtwo had a recent nerf where they got rid of his what is it called?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
We're
10
trying.
buffer.
The
It's
most I'll
funny
do
because
is
the other
10.
day I was like streaming my tournament runs and it wasn't like this.
Yeah,
So
it does
like
happen. Let's see.
yikes.
Let me try turning off my NVIDIA because I don't need NVIDIA right now.
Yeah, my screen just froze, bro.
Did it actually?
Yeah, well, not like I still hear the music. I still see
Yeah.
it running frames, but like it's at the
So
point
let's restart it.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's really odd for like
You try hosting
for
again.
Mewtwo because Mewtwo's tools are like also like very, as we say, they're they're weird. They're not traditional. Like they're not like a traditional like you could say that Smash is a lot like spaces are a lot more traditional just because like they exist in Fox exists in 64, exists in Melee. Like so it's more traditional like Smash based style. Like it's the Fox like the the spacey style.
Right, where it's almost like an archetype at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's its own archetype type of thing. Whereas like Mewtwo, it's like, what is this? Like, what is this abomination? It's so cool to play, but so like
He's like
weird.
this weird peach Marth thing.
And like, he just fits so many categories at one time. It's a little wild. All right.
Thanks for
I
doing this
never
again,
use
dude.
Top Jump. No worries. I love playing piano. I love this game. Like, Mewtwo's weird. And obviously, hitboxes are also weird because he doesn't have those long-lasting hitboxes, and it's weird. Like, except down smash. Also,
I mean, Nair.
real quick, Nair, remember? One sec. There we go.
Oh yeah,
Remember?
they like blink.
1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, like 2-4 or 2-2, 2-2, 2-2, 2-2.
I
Beautiful.
didn't mean. I meant to jump back there, and he just did an F smash. I was like, I might as well work with it.
So Mewtwo's again odd because like this character just recently got super nerfed. I know. Even then, it's like weird to say super nerfed because he also did get nerfed at 3.02 and was still insanely good. Like, it's just odd to say like the character like even this character's some characters and it's weird to say the way like how do I their tools literally like just the way they play is their character archetype is just a good archetype. Like Mewtwo's archetype is just good. Like if he has like teleport and float, he's always gonna be good. He's always gonna at least top 10.
He's always gonna be at least top 10, is what you just said.
Like this a character with a hover and a float or a teleport and a hover, like an omnidirectional hover, it's just hard to like make that bad.
Yeah.
Like, I know what the devs are trying. They're trying to nerf Mewtwo without doing too much, but at the same time, it's like it's hard to make a character like this bad. Like where Spacey's like, also like you have to do a lot of changes to make Spacey's bad to you. If they have like one constant, like a frame one shine, I make a character of a frame one shine bad.
How do you make a character to frame one shine bad?
How do you make a character who has a hover, an omnidirectional hover, with a teleport bad? Like
Um,
these kinds of things are like odd to like make. It's hard to make them bad. So Mewtwo's recent nerf, even then, like he's weird. Like I love Mewtwo. Let's see. Look at this.
so
Like
I was gonna say real quick. One another weakness of Mewtwo is he doesn't have the best crouch cancel game. It exists, right? He has his down tilt, right? It exists, but like a lot of times when I'll start that crouch cancel war bullshit, well, my character is at, oh no, he's not at high percent. So like a
so
lot of
yeah,
times like he again down tilt is an amazing move, but if you have a good down smash, which is a good amount of the game, just whack down on that C stick, and you're gonna probably win the situation.
it's weird because it's down tilt that you have to worry about, but like if Mewtwo's like if the way that Mewtwo's down tilt works, it only gets crouch canceled if you're really close. If you're spacing it, you just and instance of the change to Mewtwo where he can spam it now more, he can cancel it better. It can be rough. Also, particularly if you're just okay, you're holding down right now. If I know that you're gonna hold down at this point, I could do one of my favorite things in the game, and I know every
Oh,
Mewtwo
what
loves this,
is it? If we're
like that.
playing, it's not showing up on the stream. Uh, that's weird. Okay, thanks for telling me that, Anthony. All right, let me try hosting. Maybe that was it.
Yeah, don't
That's
worry.
so weird. That's so weird. Sorry about that, guys.
What you could do for future streams too is you could lower the resolution of this, like of the in-game stream. That's what I did when I had issues. Also, are you running? What is your graphics on PM?
What's my graphics on PM?
You can set it to 720p. It looks exactly the same. Pretty much the same.
No, the aspect.
What is your internal resolution?
I left it on auto.
Wait for graphics enhancements.
Oh, enhancements. All right, hold on. Enhancements.
Set to 2x instead of whatever 3x.
Set to two. No, it was on 1x actually.
Really?
Yeah.
That is odd.
Yeah. Right.
Huh.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. We're gonna try to start this up again. Still working out the kinks with doing this kind of thing.
But yeah, it's characters a lot more weird, but the tools he gets are they just they don't play like Smash, which is cool. It's a different archetype.
And that's one thing I really enjoy about PM, where it's like we got more archetypes.
Yeah.
And like so in some ways, like at least for me, it was like helpful in the beginning to like just splice together archetypes in my head, where it's like, and you know, don't take this as the most like quotable thing or like the most accurate thing, but like in the beginning, I used to see Ike as a weird like Captain Falcon Marth Ganon clone.
Yeah.
So
And
because like he hits hard, he's stupid fast, and he has a sword. And for some reason, that helped me conceptualize how to
that's
fight against him.
that's the best way like a lot of like people coming from like melee or different games can like understand the character better. It's like a good way to understand. But then when you play the game more, you realize they're not that. They're completely different.
Right. Oh, I sent you a message, by the way, dude. I sent you
Oh
a
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, they are completely different. It's really it can be weird to play against them. And so, go back to the Mewtwo down tilting.
Why is your name Astastic?
Listen,
Listen.
listen. I get my like occasional Dr. Mario in, and people think it's you sometimes, and it's really funny.
Oh, that's so weird. It's not picking up on the game I'm playing. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Spoke too soon.
So you have to be out. So that's good to know. So yeah, at a distance, Mewtwo's down tilt can work as a crouch cancel tool. You have to be obviously very careful with it.
Wow.
So actually, real quick, I wonder. Let me back out real quick. I wonder my resolution DP. Let's see if that helps. All right, start it up again.
Sorry, guys. Thank you for watching.
That could help. Maybe it's me setting it lower. I'm gonna use footstools one day. I promise.
I promise.
I
One
promise
day.
to use. Mewtwo footstools are a lot more situational, like really situational. Please. Nice. Okay, so maybe that helps. So Hakeem, stay at a distance real quick. So it has to be like at the perfect distance where down tilt's like. See, at a perfect distance, down tilt's like pretty good at like, and even at a semi decent distance, down tilt's perfect. But like when you see someone crouching, you gotta be like, oh, they're crouching. Like, let's say you're just crouch canceling at the moment. I see. I'm like, okay. And then I would just like try to shield. I would jump in there because my near beats your crouch cancel. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Nair definitely beats crouch cancel.
So start crouching real quick. There you go. Keep crouch cancing one more time. The fun one. There you go. There's
And
not
now,
much you could do about that. Like, you kind of just have to respect it. So, like, Mewtwo's crouch cancel game itself, crouch cancel back is bad. Like, beating crouch cancel is actually pretty fun. Like, Mewtwo's really good at beating crouch cancel.
okay.
But Mewtwo's defensive game is odd. He doesn't have an out of shield option, so he kind of just has to do this. But like, he has to roll out the way. But look at it. It's like,
But he has a pretty good roll though.
what? You have to like read it. You have to read me like going in.
So, another thing like I've learned, and this is like a big Mario thing too, right? Like we kind of touched on it before, like center stage. You really don't want this character to have center stage on you, because if he has
Yeah.
center stage, you're not going to get back in again. And it's like because of his teleport, he can kind of just like kind of decide when he wants to go to center stage. But depending on like how good the player is, like at this point, I'm pretty used to playing against Mewtwo, so I always stay within this range of him
Yeah.
at all times because teleport.
There you go.
Like that was a little off, but like I
But
always
like, it
stay
still
within.
worked.
Yeah, I still stay within this range. Do it again. Ah, damn it! My hand's
But like,
so
I didn't
slow.
get the punish I wanted. That's the thing. Like, even if you missed, like, I didn't get the punish I wanted because like you already knew.
Like I always try to like stay in this general range because I can plan for whatever he's trying to hit me with.
Though it's odd though because like when you do that, Mewtwo's like he sees you doing that, and I see you like doing that. I'm like tight, and so I'll just swap it up.
But even
I could
that,
push
even in
it.
that situation, right? You're still not in center stage.
No, but it's like nice because I can swap it up. And even then, like if you're doing that, I could just back her back. Like I see you like jumping around, like trying to defense. Like it's hard. Like you have to like kind of guess super hard with Mewtwo because let's say you're like dashing back and forth, like trying to read my teleports. Like as you're trying to read my teleports, I can just turn around. And then like
And look
cool,
at that.
my turn for my center stage. So you have to be really smart about your reads on Mewtwo's like teleports. Because you
But
can read Mewtwo's teleports. It's just like, are you gonna risk getting back aired? And if
and
you full hop, Mewtwo can up tilt or up air.
especially against Mewtwo. Oh God, someone plays me too much. um, especially in this matchup, like I just find that holding center stage is so important because it kind of leaves less options for him to run, and you can actually deal with teleports. And it's a little easier to guess where he's gonna go where he teleports. You know.
Yeah.
It's a little easier to guess. Another thing that Mewtwo's love to do when they're trying to recover, especially on a stage like Battlefield, is they'll like teleport to the platform, right? And
Yeah. Agreed.
and sometimes like I hope for them to do that because I'm already like planning for them to do that. So I'll just run over to the platform and back air because they want to ledge cancel it. They always want to ledge cancel it because they want to act immediately.
What I've been like loving about Mewtwo's recovery though is I'll like fake in going in and I'll just drop down slowly. Which is like I think just a quick smashing, like just doing a simple recovery, like a simple like normal recovery, like the very basic recoveries no one expects them sometimes. Like
Yeah.
just you like you're just kind of like you see all this and you're like, fuck, what do I do? There you go. Like and it's just simple stuff. Like sometimes just keep it simple. And with Mewtwo's options, like he can go simple, he can air dodge low, lowish, like that. He can go high to plat. He can go higher and then go around. He can ledge cancel his teleport. Like his recovery is pretty like you're not gonna die as Mewtwo.
yeah.
You're not gonna get edge guarded. Like getting edge guarded Mewtwo doesn't happen too often. You're pretty usually as Mewtwo you're just gonna die.
Yeah, and like, yeah, exactly. You're gonna just outright die. And it's also like, coming from a person that plays two characters with really good grab confirms, um, it's kind of really hard to like kill Mewtwo at a percent that matters. Because my down throw stops working at like any percent that really matters.
Yeah.
Um, Yikes. And there you go. This character can just do whatever he wants.
So it's like it's odd. It is very oh no. And there's an example of down tilt being bad, like really up close. Oh, good tag.
So what are some like quick do's and don'ts? See, perfect example. You gotta really just bait out or guess where he's gonna go.
The big do is Mewtwo. Do take your time with like using your moves, like, and be aware. Oh, big thing I like to do as Mewtwo too. Like in comparison, like to most characters, like I'll usually play. Study the hurt boxes of the character, so you can know when to use your tail hurt box. Like where you're like, what can hit your tail hurt box. Like studying hitboxes, like obviously for any character is important, but as Mewtwo, I love to do it just because I hate like usually I'm putting out like my giant tail hurt box. And do make sure like not to like be stubborn and let if you're in a combo just try to hold out, don't just spam fair, which is something I'll try to do sometimes. It can work sometimes, and if you know you can get the fair out in time, like sure, go ahead. But if you're constantly going to spam like your aerials out of shield, like you're gonna get punished more.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's
And you're allowed to just be a little more willy-nilly about back air when you're trying to edge guard. Throw it out, like it could hit. It covers even if it doesn't hit. Throw out some back airs when you're edge guarding, and even if it's not gonna hit, it's gonna make the opponent go into position they don't want to go into.
yeah. You're gonna have to really pick an option.
Because not all your back airs are gonna hit. Like that's the cool thing about Mewtwo. You can just 1, 2, 3. He can just spam back. He can just put out back airs to cover things.
Ugh.
That's the great thing about this character. This character doesn't have to like. It's an art like you could just set up your like edge guard. You don't have to get it right away. Just be patient, and it can be frustrating when your opponent comes back after you put out a lot of like moves. But like just remember like this is what your character does. Your character like just supposed to put out her hitboxes to edge guard. Definitely do use Nair a lot. Your Nair is really good.
Real good.
It will like you can do so much of it.
But I think it's important to remember that Nair, for both sides of the matchup, Nair is not invincible. Nor is it like a one size fits all kind of. Like at this point, like I kind of hope Mewtwo's Nair personally because as Mars go, oh sweet back air, like my back air is dummy disjointed.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty comfortable in that situation. Because at worst I trade. Usually I win. Oh god.
So you're allowed to Nair like the only times you can use Nair as like a one, it does the serve a similar purpose as Shine, is if you know when these like certain hitboxes, like if you can count the frames decently enough, which some people can like react to like the 222 thing if you like have the rhythm down, or if you know when if you just use the last hitboxes, the last absolute last frame of Mewtwo's Nair, which is last Nair frame of Nair is actually really nice, and that Mewtwo's hover cancel Nair can go into Nair too. Cause there's a recent buff in PM where he can just Nair to Nair.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's actually pretty ignorant.
He can Nair to fair, and it's all with hover cancel like distance. He doesn't lose hover cancel. Like he
Okay.
still has to land with normal landing lag.
Um. So I think we can finish up soon.
Yeah.
Um.
I do want to talk about the state of like tournaments right now. Like
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dude. So we're in a weird time now with COVID. All the tournaments are
yeah,
shut down.
like it's a very like weird situation with COVID. Like for anyone out there, I know you're trying to go locals. I don't recommend going to locals at this point. Like there was a local in Mass for Ultimate, and I don't agree with any. You know, I get that they had to open up to like make money, like to make ends meet, but like it shouldn't have been a thing they'd done. You should stay home, stay safe, play some net play. Like sure, lag is bad, but it's not gonna like COVID isn't like it's not gonna last forever.
Yeah, and like like it's
Like
you know
don't
what's worse than lag? Not breathing, or my
yeah,
grandma not breathing.
permanent
You wasn't
lag.
stupid. Permanent lag. Shut up.
Like it's a desync, but like um, so just stay home for a bit. Like it it is annoying not being able to play in like LAN. I get it, like not being able to play like with CRTs and stuff, or like offline setups, but just hold out for a bit. Like you, everyone's been doing pretty good with it for now, but don't start going to tournaments now. It's like not the best situation. Like you risk yourself trying to get sick for just something where you could just like play net play for a bit and have no risk at all.
Like at all. And I don't know. To me, it's really it's really immature
Yeah.
to to go to a tournament now of all times. Like even if like Grid was back open or Nomads rather, and like I had the means to show up, I would still not show up.
And like I get it, I get it. Like playing PM is fun and stuff, but at this point in time, like we just need to stay home. Like we'll have our tournaments back. We'll have all that set. Like when it comes back, it will stay. We will have tournaments. Like PM will still have tournaments. Like these tournaments won't disappear. As much as like you like it can be worrying that they might just disappear after COVID. There's a demand for PM. People want to play this game. Maybe not as much as Melee, but there are people who still like very much do want to play this game.
Cause it's sick.
Like, yeah. So bunkering down at the moment with like for like COVID's like just fine. Just don't go outside for now. Like stay indoors as much as you can. At worst, like if you really need to play locals, just like some like real Smash, invite a buddy over, like someone that's like hasn't been contained in a bit. At worst, like not recommending that here, but like if you really need to play someone.
Yeah, like if you have some local friends that like you trust them, or like they've been quarantining, or even wear a mask if you have to, man. But like
Yeah.
tournaments are a big no.
Because there's always gonna be like people like that are there's gonna be at least a couple people who are just like dirty and stuff, and like that many people at a local, it's not worth it.
Like I can't even trust Smashers to shower. I don't really trust them with Rona.
Yeah, if you can't trust like a Smash player to shower, like I can't trust you like to not catch COVID. I'm sorry. Like no, I'm not sorry. Like like
Mandatory day 2 showers at every event. I'm sick of going to these events, these 2-day regionals, and day 2, after I watch everyone come out of their hotel room, still smell like shit. That's my PSA.
see, mandatory. Put on deodorant. Let's start small, Hakeem.
Nah. Fucking
we gotta
shower,
start
dog.
small because they don't even use soap. Come on now. Be honest with yourself. Like, do Smashers even use soap? Like, like people will always put their hands out, and I'm like, I'm not shaking your hand. I know where that's been. Like, And I know where that hasn't been. It hasn't been like in
No,
the what is it?
it hasn't been. Hasn't
No,
been
it's
in a bathroom sink
it
for
hasn't been
three
a bathroom.
years.
It hasn't been a sink for 3 like so like please for like the sake of yourself, please just stay home. Like it's rough. Like
Your hands have a check engine light.
and you're not proving to anyone that you're better by going to COVID tournaments right now. You're actually proving that you're worse. Like you're losing to COVID.
You're losing to COVID.
Like it's not worth it right
Oh,
now.
okay, all right, damn, all right.
Yeah, Michu's egregious. So yeah. And as for Connecticut, like we'll have stuff up too. Like we'll get stuff up soon. Like it's gonna happen. Also, I need to ask Ben because I did pay him like to do a PR, which we have never done. We haven't gotten released yet, so I will get that set up.
Oh
I'll do
God.
that tonight actually. But yeah, please stay home. Hakeem will be streaming a lot more regularly, so you'll be able to watch him like play PM and do stuff. Like
Yeah,
interact with him for now.
I started even streaming my runs through Anthony's tournament on Thursdays. Don't touch me, I'm sterile. I think I'm gonna make it a thing.
Yeah,
To continue doing that at least until like I hit top 8 and then raid Anthony's stream.
like play some Mario games for now. Do some hobbies. Like I got into model building, like something I've been wanting to do forever. I've been into I'm catching up on games I've been wanting to play. Since I'm finally actually Animal Crossing again, which is nice. Uh, like do something. Like there's other things to do right now. Like
Yeah.
I know Smash isn't a critical point of like some people's life. Like at one point it was like the thing that like it was a critical point in my life. But like right now, like as a community, we got to make sure like to be responsible. Like
Before we leave, that does make me want to touch on one thing. I've watched you grow from the kid that came to Smash tournaments that was a little weird and loud to someone who's like in a way like a CT community leader. Like you're a representative at this point. Like yeah, we still have Kais, but like eat a dick. Damn, I was going to kill you with that. No, that wasn't eat a dick to Kais.
No, dang
yeah,
I
let's
got
go.
comboed. Oh.
That definitely wasn't eat a dick to Kais. He's a great human being, but way better at being a human being than I am. That being said, oh god damn. That being said, I've watched you grow into a community leader, and not even just a community leader, like a strong player, like a very strong player, to the point that last season you were definitely a bracket demon of mine.
I'm not even gonna say anything. It's been a couple seasons.
It's been a couple seasons.
It's been a couple.
You
I'm just
feel
gonna
some
say
type
that.
of way, bro.
But like, no, I know what you mean though. No, wait, okay. Yes. No, I double jumped. Tight. Sorry.
You kidding me?
But yeah, no, yeah, it is. You just have to sometimes like as a kid, like you get like I wasn't like the most mature. It wasn't the best state of mind, and like being weird was like the only thing I could do at the moment. Like I felt like I could do.
Um,
And I am glad I've grown, like as a person, as a player.
there's
Like
also like I guess I wanted to say it was like, what does it feel like growing up through the scene? Because again, like a lot of people have watched you grow and mature through this game and the scene. So what does it feel like to be a part of this community for so long?
I am so glad I grew up with like the CT scene. Like I feel like I've had like so I'm the older of two siblings, so I never had like obviously the older sibling to like look up to. And it felt like having like growing up through the CT Smashing, I had so many people just to like learn off of, like so many different life experiences, so many different things. Like what's cool about like the CTPM scene is like everyone's different. Like everyone has a different walk of life. Like HMO4, weightlifter, you're like
Degenerate.
the like like what is it? Shadowhawk super into like a lot of like super MOBAs, like super high APM games. Fire Blasters like stoner.
Stoner. Also a degenerate.
Also a general, but like you know what I mean. Like everyone had like he's like well like and then he's also like a computer like technician. Like everyone has like different walk of life like in PM like or like in the CT Smash scene. Like no one is related in thing. The only thing that's like we're related in is we like playing to PM.
Yeah, if you like playing this weird mod.
Like some people don't even like playing video games and like when at in the CT smashing, they just like playing PM. Like I think that was cool. That was cool. That was cool. That was cool.
Thank you. I
But
tried.
yeah, and we're all into different video games too. Like not everyone's into the same video game.
Yeah, I started really getting into roguelikes as of late, and I'm definitely gonna start streaming those a lot more too, because
Yeah.
that's been a treat.
So it's kind of cool. Like some people are super hardcore. Dang. Super into hardcore like card games. Like there's so many different like walks of life and like in what is the CTPM scene, and I'm glad I got to do that. So because I could get like so many different like experience. Like I got to experience so many different like you know different points of views of life and what like different philosophies. And I think that was like the best thing ever. Like growing into CT Smash scene. And obviously, I had people like had my back, like people who like legitimately like would have done anything for me, especially like my low points in life, which I was super thankful for because like it's just a bunch of like people playing PM, like
Yeah.
Smashers having your back. Like, what is this? Like a giant family? It's like, well,
What is this? A functioning family?
it felt like a functioning family, like a dysfunctional functional family. I'm like, did I like it? Yeah, but did I ever appreciate it growing? Did I appreciate it at first? No, I never like thought about it until like a couple like months, or years into like, or maybe a year into like having it, like I realized I'm like, this is like kind of just a giant family. Having somebody to look forward to every day, like motivation, it was great.
Honestly, Smash got me through some really tough times in my life
And
because at least like I can go to a tournament like that started becoming the thing where it's like, oh, at least Thursdays are coming around. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like at least Thursdays coming up, I get to do this and Smash. If it wasn't for Smash, I would probably be a lot sadder, to be honest.
and
Which is a big reason why I want to do this series.
yeah,
Because I want to just create exposure for this great game.
and for me too, it's not just like here's my main, but
Here's
it's not
my
even
main Minty Kong.
Minty Kong. Uh, oh no. It's not even just like what is it like Smash itself. I want to like thank the CT Smash team. Like there just has been a giant like help into like why I'm like who I am today. Like sure we joke around about like how much like we think we're ugly, we're like degenerates and stuff, but I actually think like I love us all. Like I legitimately don't like say it always, and I should say it more often, but like everybody who I've like met through a CT Smashing is just great, and
Well,
like anybody related to that.
yeah, I could definitely relate to that, and everyone within KOF knows how I feel because every time I get drunk, I go right into the group chat like,
Yeah.
man, I love you guys so much
And
every
it's not
single
like
time.
the Kevney.
It
And it's
kept
like
me.
not even and
Which
like
sounds like a
I'm
Kevin.
super thankful for that all the time. Like and it's like something I'm like never like, I always think about a lot. Like this is like I have like a group of people like they've evolved from just like competitors and rivals and stuff to just like a big group of friends, like a consistent like group of friends, which I know we're all gonna be lifelong friends forever, which I'm thankful for.
Yeah, like I don't know. For a while, it was almost like I compartmentalized my friends, where it's like, oh, these are my Smash friends. Or like, probably after this game is done, we're probably never gonna see each other again. And
Nope.
it's like, yeah, nope, does not look like it's
Yeah.
happening today.
So what's please? So what's weird is I remember someone telling me like I forgot who it was. It was this nerd Smash player. They told me like, yeah, no, these are your Smash friends. I'm like, no, these are my friends. Like, no, no, these are your Smash friends. I'm like, no, like I see these people as my friends. Like, I don't see a difference between these people and like the friends I talked to at school. Like, I never saw a difference. I'm like, they're just different. Like the way we met is different. Like,
Yeah,
I never saw like a difference. So I'm just glad like more like people in the scene are seeing it like that way. Like, there's never been a difference between like the friendships we made. Like it's all the same. It's just the way we met's different.
yeah, no, no, dude, and like that's the glory of this weird modded party game that we all agreed is good. Like like it's that's the beauty of it. Like we somehow went from like in some cases for some people like just these people I see on a Thursday night to like okay now I'm gonna chill with them at Denny's till like 3 in the morning. Piss off your significant other, and like and now you're just like wow these are the homies, and it's really
Yeah,
great to see. It's really good to see.
And big shout outs to my dad real quick. As a kid, drove me everywhere.
Dude, he used to
Oh my
ride you
god, dude!
everywhere.
I still feel bad about. You lived?
Dude. Yes, I did, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir, I
Okay.
did. Oh, no, 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 no,
Okay.
no.
Thank God. So,
Yo,
yeah.
oh no, you
Thanks to
tell us your
shouts
story.
to grandpa's milk or
Oh God.
abuelo's leche, dude. That man, as a teenager, drove me everywhere until I started driving myself illegally. But like, I'm getting a license soon this week. No, no, what you? So yeah, no. It's just nice that like there was like a community built like over all this, and like it's a giant support system for a lot of people.
Yeah, it really. No, honestly, dude, the Smash community has got me through some tough times in my
And
life.
I guess the way I say it, I always say CTPM community because it's like a more like, I like to like be more like direct. Like I gotta like appreciate like these people. Like the Smash community itself is great, but like the CTPM community is where like my home is.
Yeah, it's so different. The CTPM community, like even opposed to like other communities, like I was part of not like hard body, but like since I'm from New York, I went to New York tournaments like during my summers, and it's such a different feel, man.
And it's not to say like to say that like it's been smooth sailing for the CTPM community all
Oh
the time.
no,
We've been through our hardships. Like,
yeah,
whew, we definitely did.
we had our moments. Let's tell you that much.
Yeah. And we had our downs where like it looked like the community almost died, but like we knew like we were gonna get through it, and like we got through it like all together, and like just through like being able to like persistence and stuff, we got through it, and it was like super nice. And I'm just super grateful like that all of it like we went. I actually sometimes I think I'm grateful like we went through those hardships because we grew like in a sense like
Yeah,
we became more close knit and we just became kinder and stuff like. We realized how to like be less like make sure all the toxicity stays out and stuff, and I'm glad.
and like banning the
Yes,
they're
yeah.
throwing out the appropriate bans.
Putting out the appropriate bans, setting some good rules and stuff for like
Yeah.
situations and whatnot, like everything about that. But it has been tough, but I'm just glad like we exist still, like and like the way like I've seen it, it's like we're never not gonna exist. Like we're just gonna evolve.
Unless, unless
We're gonna change.
Ultimate PM comes out.
Oh, if Ultimate PM came out,
It's over,
this
baby.
game sucks. Wait, this game sucks. Wait, what am I saying?
The moment Ultimate PM comes out, it's over.
Oh my
Not-
god, if the next official Smash game was this PM, dude, this game's dead to me.
Oh my god! There's so
No,
much
no.
for loyalty.
No, it's not. No, it's not. But like, you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, no, it's just what happens. Like, honestly, I feel like if the next Smash game was similar to PM, or again, I don't even need out canceling personally. Just give me my movement options with fam.
yeah,
But like, but if like the next Smash game was more similar to like Melee and PM, I think every single PM player would move on to the new game, and like there would be no questions asked either. It's like, oh, so you're going to the new local? I'm like, yeah.
yeah, and it's not like, but obviously that's not gonna happen. So what we have now, I'm grateful for.
Yeah, honestly, with the sorted past that this game has had, I'm happy we're still around and kicking, man.
And the only thing that would make me stop playing, obviously, if it's like, nothing even would stop me from playing. I'm gonna keep playing PM until like I'm the last one playing it. Like,
Oh, we used to say that all the time.
and we're not wrong. Like, we're still playing it.
I remember like one day, like early days when like you were like not PR. He's like, and like things were looking bad around 3.5 and shit. It's like, oh, do you think we should stop playing? And I was like, dude, I won't stop playing until the only locals are you and me.
Yeah, no, and I still stick by those words. Like, no, I was gonna win. But like, there's like no reason for me to stop playing. Like, the only thing that will stop me other than like me, like no one else playing, is my hands break. But like,
Yeah.
like either or.
Hi KOF though. Yeah, so it looks like we're closing up. We kind of went through the Spaceys for a good amount of this. We went through Mewtwo for a shorter amount. We went through some of his like the strong moves, and I think because like I do have like a lot of experience fighting against the character, I was able to talk about some of his weaknesses, or lack thereof in a way. That being so, any more closing remarks, man?
Oh, not really. I'm just glad to like have been in the scene. I'm glad to have done this. Like, this is fun. Like, I'm glad to like have been a guest on this. Like, just speaking my mind and just talking about whatever like I need to talk about, like spaces and like just the Smash scene in general is just nice.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad we got a chance to do this, and
Yeah.
hopefully, like, I want to keep doing more of these in the future. For next week we have Grizz coming on, and we'll be talking about Zelda, his work with Project Nexus, a little bit of the CR Capital Region's history, because they're a very small region within New York. Um, so tune in next week, guys. We're just gonna
Hell
finish
yeah.
out this match, and then we're gonna be done. It's funny because now that we're not talking about serious shit, now it's not lagging.
Right?
Like
Like,
when
oh,
we're
no!
trying to,
You should have went for the fair.
right? I should have went for the fair. Back here safer though.
God. All right. You know what? Let's make this legitimate. Wait. Let's make this legitimate. All right. Let's go Smash Roll. We're gonna make this legitimate.
Oh
This
my
is
god.
this is the net play main Minty Kong.
Minty Kong. Okay, okay.
No
Look
way,
at you,
dude.
foolish.
Okay, doesn't work. Oh, that doesn't work.
Okay, that was
That
weird.
doesn't work. It works on everyone else.
See, the difference between me and everyone else, I don't have a brain. I literally don't think. So,
I live.
no, you don't. No, you don't. Get fucked.
I'm like, oh, tight. I win, right? This is the win button. Oh no. Oh no. The net play main isn't looking good here. I swear I do better versus everyone else but Hakeem.
I'm used to these
Yes.
memes. I used to play 6 a.m., buddy. Don't underestimate me.
Nice, that's it. No.
You would have thought?
Nice.
Okay. Alright, cool. Like,
Okay.
cool.
I thought I almost killed myself. Okay. I'm ready. Roll. No! Who guesses that 50-50 right? No one! Oh, I'm dead.
You can kind
Oh.
of tell based on, like, your percent. Like, if you're at low percent, they're probably gonna, throw you towards the stage, so just DI for that.
Stop, that makes too much sense.
Yeah, that's kind of how I deal with it. When it was like, it's a 50-50, what do you know? It was like, I don't know, dog. Have you ever heard of situational awareness? Yeah, good players have to have that shit, dog.
Oh my god.
I know, it's
okay.
crazy. Oh, shit. Shit.
Tight. Okay.
Shit.
Minty Kong, please. I believe in you. How does Coney do this? No! Please! What? Did you just use Falcon? Okay. Okay, I need to stop doing that. I know what I need to stop doing. I know what it. Oh, wait, stop. Stop. Please.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I haven't eaten lunch yet! I haven't eaten lunch!
Get fucking called out.
What are some other jobs I got? I haven't eaten lunch. I just caught the rope. Yeah. I just caught the rope. Oh my god. This is rough out here. This game's rough.
My favorite one is always, I don't know the matchup, bro. It's like, it's Mario, dog. I don't know what to tell you. Yes, oh god,
Yes,
no!
yes. Okay, wait. This is how this turn closes out. Just one dub.
You got dubs today.
No, just one dub with Minty Kong.
You really would have thought. Okay. Smart man. Really smart man.
No,
Idiot.
no.
Idiot.
Oh no! I forgot my. I have a hurt box on my arms. I'm
Yes,
so
you
mad.
do. Yes,
All right.
you do.
That was fun, Hakeem. All right.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man.
No problem. But
Oh, Kaz, thanks for the follow, dog.
Ty Ken.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Kaz is the only. Kaz is 101 Hakeem.
Oh my god, shut up. He beat me once. Anyways, Fuck, what was I gonna say? Tune in next week, same time, same place. We're gonna be having Grizz on again. We're gonna get into some Zelda mechanics. We're gonna get into some, CR background and his work with Project Nexus. I know it's him and a team of people that kind of run that Instagram. So, uh, you know, tune in for that one, and we're gonna get into some more, not only just like uh, PM mechanics and like competitive wide stuff, but like also the community as a whole. So, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Zelda talk tomorrow.
All right,
Bye.
bye, man.
Hype.